Good morning. On behalf of the Sanford Board of Trustees and our faculty, I am honored to welcome you to the 87th Sanford School Commencement, a tradition here since 1937. Joining me on stage this morning are Jason Russell, President of the Board of Trustees, our Head of Upper School, Abbi Smith, and Staci Krape, Upper School Science Teacher and Director of Upper School Student Activities, who has been selected by the class to deliver our commencement address. Our tradition at Sanford is to have our faculty from the three divisions participate in the processional at commencement. We do this to acknowledge the important role each member of the faculty has played in the development and nurturing of our graduating class. I invite all Sanford teachers and staff to please stand so that we can acknowledge the hard work that you have put in this year and the past several years. I would also like to thank the parents and families who have joined us in the Sanford journey. Whether you have been here at Sanford for 1 year, 14 years, or in some cases, many more than that, we thank you for choosing our school for your family and for trusting us with the responsibility to teach and care for your children during this important time of their lives. I'd also like to take a moment of silence so that we can remember the parents and grandparents and family members of our senior class who have passed away. While no longer with us in this world, all of their spirits live on in our hearts and are very much with us at this ceremony today. Thank you. One of the great Sanford traditions is the involvement of graduating seniors in our end-of-year ceremonial events. Seniors audition their speeches and musical performances in the spring so that they can have the honor to represent their class one more time at closing programs. This year on Blue Gold Day in May, we heard excellent speeches by Brandon Lewis and Audrey Everett. On June 2nd at Class Day, we also heard terrific speeches from Emma Martino and Dayon Polk. And just this week at our senior parent dinner, Andrew Bebbington delivered an outstanding speech. Please join me in giving Brandon, Audrey, Emma, Dayon, and Andrew a big round of applause. Today we will hear speeches from 2 seniors and 2 musical pieces performed by 3 other seniors. Today at commencement, the class of 2023 will once again, and for one last time, show us why Sanford is the school where no talent lies latent. I now invite Louisabella Wagner to come forward as our first student speaker today. Louisabella?
Good morning. As we all sit together in the quad for what is our very last time as students of Sanford School, I'd just like to start off by saying, y'all, we made it. We made it through all the midterms, all of the AP tests, all of the projects that we scrambled to complete with less than a week of classes remaining. We all survived capstones, which in hindsight seems so very far in the past. We survived applying to colleges, the acceptances that brought tears of joy, and the rejections that stung and kept us humble. We survived our individual sports seasons, all that went into every loss, win, and championship. Awards were bestowed, received, and taken home to remind us of our many accomplishments. All that is standing between us and our graduation from high school is me standing at this podium, sharing reflections and offering some final words of advice. Now I know that we've been preached mountains of kind, thoughtful, and wonderful advice from our teachers, families, and peers. But despite all of the support we have received, we have been through it. We're the COVID kids. Our freshman year cut short by a global pandemic. Our sophomore year was the most part online. Junior year was a blur as we readjusted to normal high school again. And here we are at the end of our senior year. And to be honest, to me, it still feels like the first day of school was last week. This year flew by, just as we were told it would by all of our teachers countless times. If you were like me, you started the year saying, "Thank God, I'm so ready to graduate." But here I stand at commencement, scared. I'm scared because high school's over. We're adults now going into the real world. And that is a really scary thing. I even had to wear my special pickle socks to get up here, let me tell you. It's real scary. We no longer have all of the teachers, college counselors, and administration to remind us about our many important deadlines, and we're now all on our own. It's our turn to figure out what we want to do with our lives and what decisions to make. Not only did Sanford give us the push we needed to stay on track, but it also gave us the optimal environment to learn. Not just learn things in our core classes, because not all of the lessons we learned about ourselves were in the classroom. Sorry, Miss Weaver, I really don't think it's in me to fully memorize the unit circle. And Mr. Pedersen, I don't think substitution of extreme complicated equations is really my thing. With all that being said, there were countless things I learned in every classroom that I entered that I will use every single day. Mr. Anderson's leadership class taught me to fake it till I make it, even though I most definitely have the skills and confidence to speak my mind clearly and concisely. Mr. Fritz's junior English class taught me to always dig deeper into the minor details, as there is usually a whole other story to unpack. Miss BP's creative writing class taught me the importance of self-expression through speech and word choice. You can thank her for all the big fancy words I'm using and the fact that I'm using them with proper intention. But if there's one thing that stuck out to me the most about my Sanford experience, it was the faculty and staff at Sanford and their want for me to grow in my education, myself, and my community. I can remember my first few days at Sanford, as I entered at the beginning of my sophomore year. It was not an easy time. Everyone was in masks, and friend groups had been established the year prior. So I was really nervous. Would I make friends? What if the teachers were super mean? Thankfully, I learned quite quickly that I had nothing to worry about. Everyone was open and welcoming to me from the minute I stepped on campus, and were nothing but kind and caring. This is how I knew that Sanford was going to be a good place for me. There was never a day while I have attended Sanford that I have not felt heard. There was always someone ready to help me get through a really hard time emotionally, pass a tough test, or just make sure I'm having a really good day. Miss Spencer's hugs never failed to cheer me up, and seeing Coach Matt in the hallways cracking a joke about which basketball team was going to win the chip this year always brought a smile to my face. As we can all tell by now, I was the winning side of that argument. But all of this has taught me something that I will carry with me through college, to my time in the workforce, and throughout the rest of my life. Your relationship with those around you are important. They build the basis of how you see the world and how the world sees you. Sanford School taught me many things, but the most important, in my mind, is to always be kind, even when remaining firm in your beliefs. Make your beliefs known, and hold those around you up to a high standard as well. In order for you to succeed in life, surround yourself with people who will raise you up and who you are also willing to raise up. Without the push-pull of a thriving environment, sound friends, and a strong foundation, you will struggle. So if there's one thing I'd like for you all to take from my speech, as I will try not to delay our graduation much longer, it is to apply what you have learned at Sanford. Not just the academics, but the real-world lessons we were taught every single day by the kindness and values upheld in our community. And go out in the world and make it a better place. Make it a better place for the future generations of people, just like us, sitting in the quad, waiting to get out of uncomfortable dresses and tuxedos, and to go into the world knowing that we are ready for whatever it has to throw at us. Because we have been preparing for this since we got to Sanford, and I can say, with sheer confidence, that all of our faculty, staff, and parents that made our education possible, they believe in us. And I believe that is enough to push us to do good, to make all of the people that got us to where we are now proud. We owe them that. We have no need to be scared about our future beyond Sanford's walls and flourishing courtyards, because we have been prepared to bring goodness and light to our futures, and to the futures of those around us. I have no doubt in my mind that we will do just that, because we are ready, because we have been prepared, and because even though we are going on to new adventures, we will always have Sanford as our home. Thank you.
Thank you, Louisabella, and great speech, and also the coolest cowboy boots I've ever seen at graduation. Handmade. Well done. Our first musical selection will be performed by Phoebe Chen. Phoebe? Thank you, Phoebe. Well done. It is now my pleasure to call Fadima William to the podium.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. I am pleased to welcome my fellow graduates, our very supportive families, inspiring teachers, and faithful friends to graduation here at Sanford School. A famous American writer, Mark Twain, once said, It usually takes me more than 3 weeks to prepare a good impromptu speech. Well, I am no Mark Twain, and I can confidently tell you it did not take me 3 weeks. Such is the power of Sanford School. However, bear with me as I expeditiously, authentically go through the speech befitting my generation. If I had to describe these last 4 years of our high school experience in a few words, I would say it was a true testament to our resilience and adaptability. Let me tell you why. Starting from the beginning, we had freshman year. Most of us walked into Stephen May young, naive, and without a clue of what our high school experience would look like. We formed connections, learned meaningful lessons, and as we thought everything was rainbows and butterflies, we were hit with something unexpected. COVID-19. Let me tell you about this pandemic right here. On March 13th, 2020, we were put into lockdown. No more in-person, no more seeing our friends in person, no more high school traditions for the rest of the year and the next. I personally thought this would be my whole high school experience, but fortunately enough, the COVID cases were being tamed. Resilience and adaptability, because as we progressed into our sophomore year, we got out of lockdown. This was the time we had async Wednesdays, 1 hour and 20-minute classes, social distancing, weekly COVID tests, and everyone's favorite A and B lunches. I remember us checking our friends' schedules to ensure we were in the same lunch. When we weren't, it was tragic, because that meant we had to go through that very awkward phase where we did not know the person we were talking to, and we usually, just sit alone, but we always made the most of what we had. Resilience and adaptability, because coming into our junior year, it was one of the first feelings of ordinary in a while. We still had masks, but that did not stop us from pursuing our high school experience. Sports were back and open. The dining hall was open again, and we could build on relationships that were harder to manifest from the previous year. Resilience and adaptability, because in the last 4 years we've had angst, stressors, awkwardness, confusion, and happiness. In fact, we've experienced every single emotion on the emotional scale. Despite these challenges, students, parents, and educators have all shown resilience and adaptability in the face of adversity. As we conclude our senior year, we have found new ways to learn and connect, new ways to navigate through difficult times, and new ways to form a community. And most importantly, we forged friendships and mentors that have stayed with us for a lifetime. I think we students can all agree that high school was a chaotic journey, kind of like a game of spoons. I know my fellow classmates can relate. There are moments where I've been scratched, jumped on, pushed. Sometimes it left me almost bleeding. But as I look back, I think about how my mother always tells me that high school creates unforgettable memories. And I'm not the type to admit when my mother is right, because then she goes on about how she's always right, and then she won't stop talking. But she might have a point with this one, so I'll give her that. So as I stand here today, looking back on 4 years of legacy we've all made together, I share some of a quote that I found from this new author. 1, be hard on your opinions, be intellectual, be rigorous. Identify your biases, your prejudices, and your privileges. 2, even if you are not a teacher, be a teacher. Share your ideas, don't take your education for granted. 3, define yourself by what you love, be demonstrative and generous in your praise of those you admire. Send thank you cards and give standing ovations, be pro stuff and not just anti stuff. 4, respect people with less power than you. Finally, don't rush. You don't need to know what you're going to do with the rest of your life. My fellow graduates, we've all heard the motivational life lessons such as life is going to hit you like a bag of bricks, or don't lose faith. If opportunity doesn't knock, build a door. Or there is no such thing as failure. Failure is just life trying to push you in another direction. We get it. So let me phrase this in my Gen Z vernacular. High key, life is going to hit different after we leave, but be the goat you're meant to be, and don't be scared to vibe check someone. The glow up is still happening, bestie, no cap. So in summation, I say congratulations, class of 23, for all of our hard work and perseverance has led us to this moment. As you leave here today, remember to enjoy what you do. Take pleasure and satisfaction in whatever you achieve, and whatever your next steps are, I invite you to see your studies here as a part-time of a life learning. And always, always remember to fall asleep with a dream and wake up with a purpose. Thank you.
Can we give Fadima and Louisabella another big round of applause? Our second musical selection will be performed by a talented pair of seniors. Please welcome to the stage Isabel Asher and Amanda Belej.
Learn, and we are led to those who help us most grow if we let them, and we help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I'm who I am today because I knew you. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes the sun, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, I have been changed for good. It well may be that we may never meet again in this lifetime. So let me say before we part, so much of me is made from what I learned from you. You'll be with me like a handprint on my heart. And now whatever way our stories end, I know you have rewritten mine by being my friend. Like a ship blown from its mooring by a wind off the sea, like a seed dropped by a skybird in a distant wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed for good. And just to clear the air, I ask forgiveness for the things I've done you blame me for. But then I guess we know there's blame to share, and none of it seems to matter anymore. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes a sun, like a sea that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? I do believe I have been changed for the better. And because I knew you, because I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed for good.
Some Sanford talent on display. Each year, the Sanford graduating class selects one faculty or staff member to deliver the annual commencement address. This year, seniors honored Staci Krape, upper school science teacher and director of student activities, by asking her to address the class. For over 22 years and in multiple roles, Staci has had such a positive impact on our entire community and our students. And today she's doing double duty because she's also a mom of a 2023 graduate. Please join me in welcoming Staci Krape to the podium.
Okay, I was supposed to go before that lovely song. I knew that one was going to do me in, and Amanda and Isabel, that was awesome. Good morning, family, friends, faculty, staff, and the class of 2023. It's my honor to be chosen to speak on behalf of the class sitting before you today. When Emma, one of my advisees, asked me if I was going to be able to do this without crying, I looked at her and I said no. I'm prepared. Okay? I teared up and I replied no. So I thought it was only appropriate that I shared a quote with you from George Washington Carver, who is credited with saying, "There's a sacredness in tears. They are not the mark of weakness, but of power. They speak more eloquently than 10,000 tongues. They are the messengers of overwhelming grief, of deep contrition, and of unspeakable love." That is how I feel about you all. Not crying during this speech, that's going to be impossible. But what I do know that's going to be really easy for me is talking about you as a class and the marks that you will leave on Sanford as you venture onto your college campuses to start your next journey. I'm going to put these down here. The class of 2023 and I have a unique bond. Not only have I been a lead advisor to your group for 4 years, but I'm also a parent to someone sitting on the stage, probably hiding right now. Since I have the role of parent, teacher, and advisor to this group, I've had the amazing opportunity to literally watch some of them grow up right before my eyes. I can recall a young Sean Forrest hanging out in my office in the sports center long before he was a student here, coloring his fire truck pictures and asking me politely for more. Sean has grown from that polite little child into a respectful, kind young man. I remember a young AP sitting in my 9th grade bio class, wanting to know how she could be the most successful student that she could be. Her work ethic has remained stellar, and I saw an even harder working student this year in my anatomy and forensics classes. I saw Amanda join a 9th grade freshman bio class, and she was in 10th grade, so it was a pretty challenging group. They often wanted to know things like, why can't I put a goldfish into a bowl of milk? What do you mean it's not going to survive? Among other silly questions. She handled their humor with grace and tolerance, which are 2 characteristics that I see her continue to possess today. I can recall meeting my advisory group on that first day at Warrior Welcome. How nervous they were, how they didn't really know each other. I watched them create a special bond together over the countless games of Uno, over conversations and chats we had every day when we met, and how could we forget all the laughter surrounding Nick trying to teach Niall how to Healy during a faculty fun day. I got to know so many of this senior class when I taught about a third of them in 9th grade, and this year I have almost half of them in one of my classes, forensic science. For those unfamiliar with the subject matter, it was made largely popular from TV shows like CSI, Criminal Minds, and Bones. It deals with processing scientific evidence at a crime scene and partners with the law to bring the suspects to justice. At the end of the process, the goal is to have enough evidence to prove the guilt or innocence of a suspect. Since teaching the class has been so much fun, I thought I would relate your final words from me on the 7 S's of investigating a crime scene. But this time, I'm going to make them relative to you. as you journey from Sanford and move forward onto a college campus. So a little refresher for my forensics kids, and an intro to those of you who haven't taken forensics. The 7 steps to processing a crime scene are as follows: securing the scene, separating the witnesses, scanning the scene, seeing the scene, sketching the scene, searching for evidence, and then securing and collecting evidence. Our first S of investigating a scene is securing the scene. During an investigation, this is important so that no evidence is disturbed and those coming to further the process are able to do so. Here on Sanford's campus, it's a relatively secure space. You have adults watching your backs, you have key cards to get into buildings, you are comfortable dropping your bags in the commons, on a walkway, in a hallway. You know that when you come back, it'll be there. Don't do this at your college campus. All places aren't as secure and trusting as here, and it's likely they won't be there when you get back. Lock your door to your dorm room, Miss BP said. That was a good piece of advice to put in because she had some things stolen from her dorm room, so her advice in adding, lock your dorm room. Think about where you're placing your valuables and your belongings. Secure what belongs to you. Find a network of friends, those who will make you feel safe and loved. It might take some time, but you'll find them. Build your community. Secure your scene. The second S of investigating a scene is separating the witnesses. Although I'm not going to utilize this phrase and step exactly as directed in class, I'm going to relate it to paying attention to your surroundings. What do you see and how observant are you? There are often questions asked to eyewitnesses during the steps of this investigation. Witnesses are separated to see if their stories and their recollections of the events and the details are the same. Do you pay attention to the same details as someone else? As young people about to venture off into the worlds unknown to you before this fall, be aware of what is around you. Pay attention. Make good choices and try to avoid those influences that you just have that gut feeling about. Be smart. Use good judgment. Being present in the moment allows you to gain the knowledge that you need to make a good decision. The third S is scanning the scene. This step involves investigators getting a general idea of the scene, where things are, and how things might have unfolded. I would like to rewind time and go back to your 9th grade year. Can you remember when you arrived on campus, some of you brand new, and you were asked to dive in head first into the activities with not only your advisory group, but with a whole new group of students at Warrior Welcome? Did you embrace that opportunity? When you were just a newbie to the upper school and you were faced with the challenges of team building activities, did you go all in or did you stand back and watch others take the lead? Did you scan the scene and try to figure out where you would fit in? Some of you were all in from day one, and you continue to be leaders today. I look at the group photo from you from that day, back in August of 2019, and think, wow, look how much you've grown, and not just taller, wiser. I'd love to turn back time and go back to your 9th grade year, mostly because you didn't have a typical 9th grade year, nor did you have a typical 10th grade year or 11th grade year. This year as seniors was your only true normal year of high school. We didn't start this year in masks or socially distanced. We didn't have to do morning meeting virtually, although I'll be honest, I loved having my advisory group in my room every morning for your 11th grade year. I got the chance to know you all on a completely different level. And I know that no one wants to go back and relive the COVID years, but if we could rewind time and go back without COVID, would you change anything? Would you be who you are today if we went back in time? Or do you value those challenging times and have you learned from them? Learning, and not just academically, is a huge part of high school, and it's a huge takeaway for you from your years here. Would you still stand back and scan your options, or would you opt in? The fourth S is seeing the scene. I want you all to close your eyes, guests in the audience too. Can you picture what you are seeing in front of you right now? Is this a moment that is going to be something that you are going to remember? Are some of you in the audience taking photos of this ceremony? How do you want to remember your graduation day? What images are you painting in your mind right now? Open your eyes. Go back to your first day on campus as a student. For some of you, it was a long time ago. For others, more recent. After you scanned and observed and made some decisions, did you jump in or did you continue to be an observer? Did you play with that person who had out the really fun toys in JK? Did you join a new club or activity in middle school or high school? Did you see what was available to you? Did you do all of the things that you had hoped you would do? Maybe not your freshman year, but in your time here at Sanford. Did you seize every moment and not take what you have been given for granted? In both Emma and AP's speeches for class officers last year, in their final chance to accept their nomination and choose to run, they both spoke about not wanting to regret not trying something new. Passing up the chance to run for an office, or try out for the musical, or switch sports teams because you've always wanted to try something new. Did you see what was available to you? If you are shaking your head no or thinking no, don't worry. You have another chapter about to start, and you can take advantage of all of the opportunities that are available for you to try. Part of seeing the scene is capturing what you see and making a visible memory by taking a photograph. Have you done that? Have you taken photos of all the things that you want to remember about your time so far? With your sports teams, with your musical cast members, with your friends, with your family? Take the time to look back through all of these pictures, and don't forget to keep taking new ones. Keep seeing new things. The fifth S is sketching the scene, and while I learned that many of my students might not have wanted to draw what they were observing, it's an important skill to remember exactly what something looks like. For some of you, remembering where things were and how to return to them became problematic. Let's say while we were in Paris. I won't name any names here, but I'm sure if you pay attention to the looks on some of the gentlemen's faces, you can figure out who was involved. The exact location to meet up after a free afternoon wasn't sketched into your mind, as it should have been, and you ended up lost. My phone rang, and the group quickly asked for directions, noting important landmarks and street signs that were, undoubtedly, sketched on a map somewhere. It was important to remember details this time, allowing our lost group of people sitting on this stage to rejoin the rest of the group for dinner that evening. The important takeaway here: you didn't have the exact idea how to get back, but you knew the steps that you needed to take to get the help that you needed. As you head off to new places, remember to ask for help. The sixth S is searching for evidence. And though it's relative to something used to convict a suspect, prove their guilt, or determine their innocence, I'm going to use it as an analogy to search for your people, to search for where you fit in and where you belong. You did that when you stepped onto campus as 4-year-olds like Jack, Alex, Kendall, and Gigi, or as a 14-year-old that entered the smallest group on campus at the beginning of your upper school years and became a part of that group. You found your people. I watched you all do it. Friendships that were cultivated in lower school still exist today. Friendships that weren't made until last year thrive today. I watched so many of you look for your people and find them. Some of you found them in places that you never thought you would look. Remember that. Search for people in places that you may have never thought to look. The final S, and perhaps the most important one, securing and collecting evidence. You found your people here. You know who you can go to when you need a laugh, or a pep talk, or a pick-me-up, or a shoulder to lean on. You aren't collecting them inside of a glass jar or a collection bag, but you're collecting them in your hearts and in your mind. You are making sure that you are going to keep those people who are important to you close to you always. As you venture away from the Sanford campus, try and search for and collect your new friends on your college campus. Find your people. those that remind you of the friend who's sitting next to you, of the one who can make you laugh till you cry, or the one you can go to at any hour of the day and know that they will listen and understand. Continue to make a conscious effort to devote time to the friendships that you have made here. It's harder with distance, but really important. Secure, separate, scan, see, sketch, search, and secure. In the end, you're not going to detain a suspect, but you will discover you and who you are meant to be. You will have memories tucked close to your heart, ones that you can imagine when you close your eyes. When you step off this campus, know that I also wish you smiles, strength, sunshine, serenity, satisfaction, support, sincerity, and most importantly, success. Thank you.
Staci, you left some tissues up here. Well done, Staci Krape. Before we present our senior commencement awards, I'd like to recognize 4 very special Sanford teachers. Yesterday, we held our annual end-of-year faculty and staff meeting where I had the opportunity to recap the year, thank the people who deliver our Sanford experience each day, and recognize milestone years of service. And we had a chance to say goodbye to the individuals who are retiring and departing Sanford after today. We also named our 22-23 Endowed Faculty Award winners. These awardees are nominated by their peers and are recognized for their outstanding commitment to our students and to Sanford. The Paul Donovan Award, which recognizes an ongoing commitment to professional growth, was presented to assistant to the head of the middle school and middle school art teacher, Karen Perkins. The Stan Waterman Award for Excellence in Coaching was presented to upper school dean of students and boys assistant basketball and baseball coach, Matt Wilson. The Lloyd Johns Award for Excellence in Teaching was presented to lower school 3rd grade teacher and math department co-chair, Brittany Alaya. And the Sue and Andre Dagenet Award for Leadership and Education was presented to upper school French teacher and world language department co-chair, Laurence Burkett. Karen, Matt, Brittany, and Laurence, I'm going to embarrass you and ask you to stand up so that we could all give you one collective round of applause, please. Thank you all. Each year, Sanford designates a senior student as top scholar. The Scholastic Award, given in honor of the class of 1939, recognizes an outstanding student who has excelled academically each year in upper school while pursuing a challenging and well-rounded program of study. The top scholar should demonstrate an openness to all forms of learning and investment in Sanford's whole educational experience. This year, it is my honor to call forward 2 seniors to receive the 2023 Scholastic Award, Noah Kersner and Daphne Tanner. Each year, the entire upper school faculty vote on the annual senior awards to be presented and announced at commencement. The upper school teachers discuss and debate the merits of our entire senior class in order to decide who best fits the criteria for each award. In other words, our Sanford teachers take the responsibility of naming awardees very seriously. The 6 seniors we will honor today with special recognition have distinguished themselves as scholars, leaders, and positive Sanford community members. Our first award is the Alumni Award, which is presented annually to the student whose participation in extracurricular activities has been most dedicated. This awardee fills his day with activities from well before school starts to long after most students are gone. He is, without exaggeration, our most well-rounded, committed, and diversified community member in his senior class, a 3-sport athlete for all 4 years, a member of almost every production of our performing arts program, and more. He simply does it all. A thoughtful, hardworking, and industrious learner, he is always eager to be in the classroom, engage in discussion, and attack a group project with zeal. Teachers enjoy him because he is regularly connecting what he's learning with what he loves. He finds a way to enthusiastically make his learning relevant, not only conceptually, but personally. He's committed to Sanford activities from dawn to long after sundown. A member of our jazz band and vocal ensemble, he starts his day at 7 a.m., an hour before school officially begins. In addition to a full load of classes, he's enrolled in concert band and concert choir, meaning he has no free periods. After school, this young man goes to his varsity sport, cross country, winter track, and baseball. And then, depending on whether he's on stage or behind it, he'll likely go to rehearsals for either fall play or winter musical. Wherever he goes, our awardee will show up earnestly, honestly, and enthusiastically. A multi-talented guy with the best of intentions, he pursues his interests with abandon and always hopes for a better world. It's my honor to present the 2023 Alumni Award to Jack Lazarski. The Thomas McCarthy Award for Citizenship is presented each year at commencement in the memory of Thomas McCarthy, class of 1940. It is awarded to the student who has always been a responsible and contributing citizen in every aspect of campus life. This year, for the first time in my memory, we have 2 recipients of the McCarthy Award. The first is one of the most earnest and affable, honest, hardworking members of not only this class, but perhaps of the upper school. He has developed excellent time management skills, which allow him to prioritize his classwork while also being exceptionally busy outside of the classroom. On campus, he is seen as a leader among his peers, and he's chosen by faculty and administrators to often lead orientation sessions for new students, serve as a mentor for younger students, and is a de facto connecting link between the faculty and the student body. In addition to his commitment to the basketball program, he's run cross country, played baseball, and he joined the Black Student Union. He's also served as part of the service club. Mr. Wilson shared, he represents the best qualities we look for in a Sanford student, not only excelling in the athletic field and in the classroom, but he most importantly excels at being a good citizen on campus. He goes out of his way to give back to the school community as being a student leader for new students, a 2-year captain on the basketball team, and numerous other activities. He truly cares about his classmates and his teachers, and he'll be greatly missed. I'm honored to present the first McCarthy Award for Citizenship to Sean Forrest. Our second recipient is industrious and works hard in all aspects of her life. Gifted in STEM, she gravitates towards the humanities, where her passion truly lies. She values adult relationships in her life, She germinates healthy and resourceful connections with her teachers. She is independent, self-aware, and unafraid to stand up for herself. She flexes her academic muscles as she stretches in the rigor that is Sanford. She's in tune with her academics and observes her progress with a curious lens and seeks to expand and explore all opportunities. She's always a step ahead, looking for guidance when uncertain. Her AP English teacher junior year noted that she is front and center for every class, adding insights and applying the concepts under discussion. This young lady has a well-rounded mix of involvement in the Sanford community. She participates in field hockey and soccer and swimming and believes sports liberate and give her a good release from academics. She firmly commits to service and promoting a safe and healthy environment and dedicates her time to the Service Club and the Sanford Environmental Action League, what we also call SEAL. She has lots to share, and she puts herself in spaces where she can learn from others. We're confident that she will continue to do just that. I'm honored to present the second 2023 Thomas McCarthy Award for Citizenship to Ava Saudi. The Kenneth D. Jones Memorial Award and the Nancy C. Sawn Final Award are given to two seniors who have shown outstanding qualities of leadership, loyalty, good citizenship, and who are always gracious in manner and considerate of others. They are named for former Sanford teacher Kenneth Jones and Sanford teacher, coach, and head of school Nancy Sawn. The Kenneth D. Jones Memorial Award is given to a student who, though he might not see himself, and if he did, he certainly wouldn't say it, he has a superpower. It's not his ability to solve the Rubik's Cube in less than 90 seconds, which he can do, because I saw that several times in my classroom. It's not his love of the Beatles. It's not his ability to juggle. All of these things, though laudable, interesting, and unusual in a teenager, are emblematic of the unique, soft-spoken Sanford character that he is. No, his superpower is actually something else. It's his calm, thoughtful, adaptable optimism that he applies in just about any situation he encounters. He sees the opportunity to learn in everything, and yet he has an excellent work ethic and is unfazed by challenges. An earnest student who respectfully pays attention to what's going on around him in the classroom and develops positive relationships with his teachers. His voice is one of analytical, thoughtful reason. And he's always absorbing not only what the teacher says, but also his peers. And he's often the one who will extend a peer's idea with a further development of his own. In this, he's a consummate communal learner. And though he is by nature competitive, he appreciates group projects and the opportunity to learn from others. Teachers unilaterally laud his willingness to be a humble evaluator of his own process, to seek extra help, and to help others when he can. He is truly a teacher's asset in the classroom, versatile, earnest, and a willing learner. He's a quiet leader of his peers, showing them a path to positivity through his optimistic approach to life. Genuinely interested in others, he has the soft skills to maintain relationships of depth across a wide spectrum of people, both his own age and from other generations. It is my honor to present the 2023 Kenneth D. Jones Memorial Award to Dayon Polk. The Nancy C. Sawn awardee is fearless, authentic, and outspoken. She's a change maker who strives to make a difference in the world. Her mother gave this young lady her name, which means intelligent, beautiful, and kind. All words that we at Sanford would use to describe her daughter. She is engaged, detail-oriented, hardworking, and focused, and continues to show perseverance and determination. She's an excellent communicator, conscientious, and brings a positive sense of humor and energy to the classroom. Sanford math teacher and field hockey coach Katie Weaver said, "As this awardee's coach and teacher, I'm thankful we had the opportunity to cross paths. Her work ethic, both on the field and in the classroom, is outstanding. She always had a positive attitude, even when things weren't going her way. She's one of the most thoughtful students I have ever taught or coached." I'm honored to present the 2023 Nancy C. Son Final Award to Audrey Everett. Our final award is the Headmaster's Award. It is given on occasion as deemed appropriate by the upper school faculty and the head of school to honor a member or members of the graduating class whose achievement and presence have been so exemplary that special recognition is in order. This head of schools award, this recipient is an academic rock star, gifted, and she exudes a natural ability to seemingly master everything she does. She is curious, conscientious, diligent, and always up for an intellectual challenge. Her AP Calculus teacher notes that she has quickly adapted to the rigor and mastered concepts and consistently performed well on all assessments. This student goes beyond the academic threshold, however, with a critical eye, using interpretation and inference to gain a deeper understanding of concepts. Earning academic accolades and flawlessly executing a heavy course load, she is at the top of her class. And as a result of her hard work, her induction into Sanford's Cum Laude Society last year was no surprise. Her coach, Scott Persichetti, said, "The character and performance of this awardee define what it means to be a Sanford student athlete. She holds herself accountable, both in the classroom and on the sports field. As a captain of the girls' lacrosse team, her leadership was constantly on display. A selfless player, it was always about how she could help make her teammates grow as a group and shine on the field. With a relentless spirit to continually improve as a student, she carries herself with a quiet grace, and her work ethic is unmatched. We're confident she will continue to push through and flourish whatever challenges appear in her life. I'm pleased to present the 2023 Head of School Award to Peyton Moore." Well, we're nearing the end, seniors, almost graduates. After two excellent speeches from Louisabella and Fadima and an outstanding commencement address from Staci Krape, can we give it up for those three speakers? Sanford tradition holds that as head of school, I also have an opportunity to say a few words. One last time. This is a bit of a tricky assignment for me every year because I know the audience is probably getting ready to get the show on the road, and our class of 2023 is certainly ready for those diplomas. It's also tricky for me because the students on stage have heard a lot from me over their time, especially those who were my advisees or took my leadership course. So I've decided to mix it up a little bit today. Sanford students know that I'm keen on the study of leadership, and I'm always on the lookout for examples from history, our lives, and sports, even popular culture. My wife and I recently began watching Ted Lasso. Raise your hand if you've watched or heard of this show. Hardly anybody on stage. Okay, this is going to go over great. It's on Apple TV. We were a bit late to the party on this, Mrs. Anderson and me, so we binged it this past Memorial Day weekend. And I must say, the show is definitely worth the hype. For those of you who have not watched or heard of the show, Ted Lasso is an American football coach from Kansas, and he's played by an actor. His name's Jason Sudeikis. And he's hired to coach a British Premier League team, what we'd call a soccer team in the United States. In England, it's called football. Ted Lasso has zero soccer knowledge or experience, but what he has is a relentless, positive spirit that he employs to help his professional footballers and all the characters on the show be their best selves and find success. Several of my friends and colleagues mentioned the show to me and recommended that I watch Ted Lasso, given that our family has a connection to soccer, and maybe it's my own Midwestern roots that made them say that, or perhaps it's my attempts at mining out silver linings in tough leadership moments. Or maybe I'm kind of cheesy and corny like Ted Lasso. I admit I'm no stranger to a dad joke or a bad pun, which that character is as well. A couple of people even said that they thought that I was a bit like Sanford's version of Ted Lasso, which I take as a compliment for those of you who've watched the show, because as cheesy as Coach Lasso might be, there's something sweet and true about the character in the show. Became very popular through the pandemic, and the media wrote a lot about the positivity of it, and that's why people, I think, gravitated it to so much. As a leader and as a coach, he's all about other people. His players, his staff, his boss. I'd call him caring, honest, and forgiving. All attributes I try to carry. So today I'm going to go a little bit out of character, and perhaps Mr. Williams, the term would be in character. So one moment, please. Who groaned?
It was me.
Was it?
Yeah.
Hey, you're wearing cowboy boots.
You're a visor.
All right. For those of you who watched, he's a coach, so he has to have a whistle too. I'm missing one thing though, right? What else does Ted Lasso have? Right here. Now, Mrs. Anderson wouldn't allow me to actually grow facial hair, so I'm going to have to. Two of my children are in the audience, and they are mortified right now. They did not know I was doing this. So here we go. Life lessons from Ted Lasso and Mark Anderson. Seniors, as difficult and complicated as life can feel and be for all of us, the lessons we learn early in life really do remain true, regardless of how old we grow or how successful we become. Wherever you go, personally or professionally, use the interpersonal skills you developed here at Sanford, and they will serve you well. You will find that they are timeless. Ted Lasso reminds us of three things. It's kind of hard to talk with this on, actually. Every person, regardless of the station in life, matters and deserves respect. Don't be the person who kisses up, but kicks down. The selfless teammates and the selfless teams find the most success. Make the extra pass. And the third, tell the truth. Ted Lasso is unfailingly honest with himself, his colleagues, and his team. And that is so hard to do. Honestly, most people don't really do it. Honesty is always the best policy. My two favorite scenes in the first season provide Ted Lasso wisdom that graduating seniors and we all could benefit from seeing. Sam, a struggling field player, is allowing his mistakes to get in his way of his future success. Lasso asks Sam, "What's the happiest animal in the world?" The answer? A goldfish. Because a goldfish only has a 10-second memory. Go be a goldfish, Sam. He does, and he goes and scores a goal. We spend too much of our time mired in the past or worried about what might happen in the future. What was said, what was done is done, and what will be, will be. Live in the now. A clip from the first season that you may have seen, it went viral, is when Ted is playing darts with the obnoxious former owner of the football club, Rupert. Rupert believes he has duped Ted Lasso into a dart match with a wager attached, essentially a tricking the hayseed from America. But what he doesn't know is that Ted is also an experienced and skilled dart thrower. And Rupert didn't bother to ask that, though, however. And Lasso goes on to say, just before he throws the winning bullseye, be curious, not judgmental. Ask questions. Try to learn about people and places and push yourself to be open-minded. Class of 2023, you have learned so many lessons at Sanford School, both collectively and individually. We heard them today. And we could talk all day about the wisdom that you have gained in our classrooms, our hallways, on stage, and on the athletic fields. So it's my honor to be the last person to share this life wisdom that I have gleaned, both from my own life and from this popular TV show. Treat people well. Be a good teammate. Be honest. Be that goldfish. Live in the now. Be curious, not judgmental. Class of 2023, we have been honored to work with you and to know you. And as Coach Ted Lasso would say, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. I now invite upper school head, Mrs. Smith, to the podium to read the names of our 2023 graduates. As Sanford Board President, Jason Russell and I present diplomas.
Stella Grace Adamopoulos. Isabel Uffner Asher. Andrew Bebbington. Amanda Nicole Belej. Chen. Helena Zwick Coker. Skylar Grace Cozine. Emerson Rose Cuff. Jack Andrew Davenport. Kaylin Noel Doherty. Ashley Elizabeth Dwyer. Audrey Yvonne Everett. Sean Allen Forrest. Ekaterini Georgia Fatakis. Jackson Fox. Simona Karina Giancroce. Kendall Maria Giordano. Justin Michael Griffith. Isaiah Devon Johnson. Nicholas Mark Karpinski. Zoe Elizabeth Kashner. Noah Brandon Kersner. Azaria Kilgo. Alexander Miles Krape. Jack Michael Lazarski. Brandon Lewis. Island Sage Lewis. Nikolai Bjorn Lorentzen. Elise Ellerson Malloy. Tatiana Eleanor Maroney. Emma Rose Martino. Oliver Campbell McKay. Erin Grace Milligan. Julia Mitchell. Peyton Elizabeth Moore. Braden Vincent Onesti. Niall Patel. Tierra Ashley Pudavangsa. Dallas Simone Pierce. Dayon Pope. Kaylee Lynn Rathbone. Cooper Randolph Robertson. Ava Sadi. Alessandra Marie Scher. Ashley Maria Schneider. Juliana Grace Shepard. Sam Christopher Stanford IV. Matthew Davis Stein. Charlie Max Sternberg. Daphne Tanner. Sasha Teagan. Andrew Dylan Timmons. Xander Cole Tomaseski. Kunal Patel Viswanathan. Louisabella Helen Wagner. Nate Jamar Watson Jr. Zoe Catherine Watson. Fadima Silo William. Bingtrin Yi. Kevin James Collier Young.
They heard. I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2023. Another long-standing Sanford tradition is the ringing of the bell to honor our newest graduates. Today, Megan Athey and Jordan Spencer, members of the class of 2024, will now sound the bell 60 times, once for each member of the class of 2023. To close our ceremony, I invite you to please stand for the singing of our school alma mater. Thank you for being here with us today to celebrate this outstanding group of Sanford graduates. We wish you a wonderful summer. Have a great day. Did you like that? Yeah, I was on the fence until yesterday. Both said that the mustache was going to be a little too much.